We'll call the Owatonna City Council meeting for October 1st, 2013 to order. May we have roll call?
Councilmember Rainey.
Here.
Svenby. Here. Trilson.
Here.
Dotson.
Here.
Schultz.
Here.
Burbank.
Here.
Abraham.
Here.
Mayor Kuntz.
Here.
We have all 7 of the council and the mayor present.
Thank you. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome all of you here tonight for our council meeting, and we will move on. We have no changes to the agenda, so we'll look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Raymond to approve the agenda as it's presented. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Brent Svenby. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. We'll now move on to our mayor. We have 1.41, Owatonna Park and Recreation Project.
I'm going to turn it over to Tim Trolson. He'll give a little briefing of the program.
Thanks, Mayor. On behalf of the City of Owatonna, I want to congratulate close to 300 individuals and families who took advantage of our beautiful park system, as well as choosing a healthy lifestyle. That's what this is all about. We had a great partner with us, Mayo Clinic Health System, Owatonna, to help us with this, with our Park Passport program. It was a 4-week program. We had a yellow sign for 2 weeks, a white sign for 2 weeks in the parks. We had 5 different locations that they went to and found different words on the back. And I will have to apologize off the top here. We did have a sign that was put in the wrong spot. So it wasn't children. It was supposed to be a great place. A great park is where children and adults can have fun together. So we kind of have every year come up with a saying that kind of ties in with the park system and so forth. This was the second year of the program. Last year we did receive a grant to help cover for the prizes that we do award, that we will be awarding tonight. When that kind of wasn't available this year, like I said, we partnered with Mayo Clinic Health System of Owatonna, who gave us $1,500 for the prizes, so we're very thankful for that. This program was started by the Health and Safety Committee of the city employees in 2011, and was offered to city employees, and then the last 2 years has been offered to the public with great results. Tonight I'd like to introduce Stephanie Olson, who is head of the Public Affairs Manager with Mayo Health Clinics Systems, to say a few words.
We just really appreciated the partnership with the city and the Park and Rec, and working with Tim Trolson and his team was really exciting. The clinic is all about living a healthy lifestyle, and walking the trails is not only preventive medicine, but it's also time with your family and children, because sometimes we just don't get enough of it. The trail systems are beautiful. We were out the other night taking a final walk, and we just really like to thank the city and Tim Trolson and having the partnership that we do.
Thank you, Stephanie.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it. Well, I think now, Mayor, Stephanie, if you want to draw for the 5 prizes. I'm just going to lay them out here, and you guys can one of them here. The first prize is going to be for family golf membership at Brook Tree for 2014 season.
Are you going to assign them this year, or are you going to let them choose, like you did in the past?
We're going to assign them.
We're going to assign them?
Yep.
Valerie Leith,
Okay.
40 Richard Place.
Okay. The next one will be for the bike package, the $500 gift certificate.
Ashley Rauer.
It looks like 703 South Oak Avenue.
Okay. The next package will be the second Straight River package for $300.
Sylvia Archer, 1270 Havana Road.
The next one will be 60 passes to River Springs Water Park in the 2014 season.
Shannon, Dan, Grace, and Barrett Karstens, a family. It's wonderful.
That's 412 Selby Avenue in Owatonna. And the last one will be for the outdoor sports pack, which is some bocce ball, frisbee golf, and so forth.
Greg and Heather Lenz,
Okay.
408 West Bridge Street.
Okay. Excellent.
And Tim had the mayor draw them out so he wouldn't get in trouble.
It's not my fault now. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone, also. Again, thank you and congratulations to everyone. Moving on to the next item is 1.5.1, Development District Number 6 and tax abatement. And with that, we'll turn it over to Troy.
Okay, you have a number of items relative to tax increment financing in the Pillsbury project. There has been some development on that today, so I'm going to turn it over to Doug Belmore here.
Douglas Belmore, 816 Greenhaven Lane, Owatonna, Minnesota. We're requesting that we voluntarily table this matter for 2 weeks until your October 15th. We've discovered a slight technical difficulty in the developer agreement between Fernbrook, and although we tried to resolve it today, the better minds and the skill of your staff suggested that we table it for 2 weeks, and we still proceed at that point. I want to assure you that this project is still strong and going on. In fact, if you have no questions, I would like to take a moment and introduce you to the representative of the purchaser of Pillsbury.
Yes.
Questions?
Any questions from the council?
Okay, thank you.
See none. If you want to.
Bruce, may I introduce you?
Sure.
Or you could introduce yourself?
All right.
I
Gentlemen?
think you have to go for the record who you are.
Oh, okay. First time ever in city council meeting. So my name is Bruce Jia. I live in Minnetonka. I'm the rep for the Chinese investors who are intent to buy the Pillsbury campus and to build to continue the history of Pillsbury as a educational institution. So been working with Doug for the last few weeks, and we're getting close to close the deal. So the investors are very excited and very dedicated to bring the history back to Pillsbury. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming down and introducing yourself.
Thank you.
With that, you are requesting it to be tabled for 2 weeks.
The next meeting, October 15th, I believe, is the calendar day?
So this would be the entire project.
Yes,
Okay.
all items.
So with that, Chair will entertain a motion.
I would make a motion to table
We have a motion by Kevin Rainey to table this project. Do we have a second to that?
Second.
Second by Nate Dodson. With that, there is no further discussion, so Chair will ask for a motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. This has been tabled until October 15th.
All right, thank you, sirs.
Thank you.
And ma'am.
Moving on to the next item, which would be the financial report. And I'll do a quick recap of $38,788 for James Brothers Construction, $372,715 for Don Bornke Construction, $150,440 for Heselton Construction, $528,883 for Mingus Construction, $20,229 for Owatonna Area Chamber of Commerce, $26,461 for Owatonna floor covering and mirrors, $25,374 for Yoakum Oil, $157,440 for other expenditures for a total of $1,290,960. What is the council's wishes?
Make a motion, we pay the bills.
We have a motion by Kevin Rainey to approve the bills. Do we have a second to that?
Second.
Second by Brent Svenby. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda items, which are grouped various minutes of meetings, actual requests for and various reports, all consolidated into one motion to make it a more efficient meeting. So
move we approve.
I have a motion by Raymond to approve. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave Burbank. Any further discussion? Raymond?
Just got a question on that 2.7.1. I didn't have a chance to ask Kyle earlier, but a question I had on those two repair jobs, did they get reported by the people that live there, or did we as a city find those two problems, I guess? Do you know?
I know
You
that,
can answer that later, it doesn't have to,
Okay.
because you said.
but I know Kyle had been in discussions with repair number 2 on Harbor Oaks Drive. I know there was a dialogue there. I'm not sure on repair number 1.
The other question, part of that, I guess, is there any other sewer that we should televise this year to have in next year's projects, I guess, was the other question. We finding a couple here. Is there some other questions out there that we should survey this year yet, maybe have a next year project too? So that was the other part of the question I
Sure.
had.
I'll check with them and get back to you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The consent agenda items have been approved. Moving down to action items 3.41, Resolution 9413. Set date and public hearing for TIF District Number 3 for plan modification, and we'll go back to Troy.
This is a request to modify the boundary of the TIF District 3-6 for the Viracon expansion project. This originally was not included. This parcel was not included because it was not, there were no improvements designed for that as part of the project. As they got into the design and construction and looking at possible future expansion, some of that may cross over into this property. And so it does make sense to include that in the TIF district. To do that, we have to set a public hearing, go through the same process as establishing a new TIF district. So it does not increase the term of the district. It does not increase the increment that was previously approved. It just modifies the boundary so that any improvements done within this portion will be included in the calculations for the TIF benefit. So staff would recommend approval of setting the public hearing for November 4th. There's a 30-day period before we can hold a public hearing. So we're requesting to set the public hearing for November 4th.
Thank you, Troy. Questions from the council?
So moved.
We have a motion by Greg to approve. Do you have a second to that?
Second.
Second by Nate Dotson. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved for that date. Moving on to miscellaneous items 3.7.1, service agreement with Langer Aviation, and then we'll go back to Troy again.
We currently have a service agreement with Langer Aviation for aircraft fueling and line services out at the airport. It is currently based on percentage of fuel sales, and they provide coverage for all our business hours during the business day as well as the weekends and on-call service as well. At the request of Langer Aviation, they wanted to modify this agreement to eliminate the coverage on business hours during the weekends. The Airport Commission does still want to keep business hours on the weekends, and so we were able to renegotiate the existing contract with Langer Aviation. It would be for 15 months, so it would be more on an annual basis the rest of this year and all of 2014. It would provide fueling service and line service for the business day hours as well as on-call services. That would make the responsibility for weekend hours with the city. We also did modify the pay structure for that to go from a percentage of fuel sales to a set price. It would be $1,400 per month, and it's basically just paying for the labor and services that they're providing. The Airport Commission has reviewed this and approved it. The city attorney has also reviewed this as well, and so staff would recommend approval of the service agreement as recommended here with Langer Aviation.
Thank you, Troy. Questions from the council? Nate?
Is that cost, the monthly fee that we're going to pay, was that calculated based upon the average of what they were getting in fuel sales, or how did we arrive?
No, actually, this is, although we will have to provide some service out there, which means we'll probably have to hire a part-time person to assist with the covering those weekend hours. We're viewing this as a neutral, budget neutral proposition here, because fuel sales were averaging about, the percentage of fuel sales that we were paying out was about $30,000, and it varied because it was a percentage of fuel sales. With the agreed upon amount, it amounts to $16,800 a year. That leaves about $13,000 left, enough for us to hire a part-time person to cover the weekend hours and probably provide additional help during the week when needed. So it's not any additional funds that are needed to provide that weekend coverage. We should be able to do that based on the existing budget of what we're paying for the existing contract.
Okay. Raymond.
Do we have a guaranteed price if you call Langer back on weekends? Do we have, I see there was nothing in there on it. We just have the right to call him back. Is there a guarantee?
If on the weekend hours, if there is some service needed by them, it will be on their per hour rate, which I believe is about $60 an hour.
So would they be guaranteed 1 or 2 hours to be called back, or?
There probably would be a minimum of an hour.
Would we pay that, or would the person?
That would be our expense.
So
anytime we're asking for service outside the contract hours, that would be an added expense for us.
Okay, but following on that, if we are going to have a part-time person there and Dave to cover that, we should never have to do that. If there's going to be any service, it would be send repairs or maintenance to the plane, which that would be charged to the owner of the plane rather than to us, wouldn't it?
If it's a service that we typically provide, one example would be towing of a plane. If we need to put it into one of the hangars and our staff is not able or skilled enough, a lot will depend on who we hire out there to be able to provide those services. But if we're at a point, especially starting up here and getting anything up and going, if there's a service that we need to provide, it will be charged back on an hourly basis. But we're not anticipating that to be very extensive at all, maybe occasionally once in a while.
Okay. Raymond.
Well, I guess I got a little mixed up when we were saying about Langer doing, and then we're going to have a part-time guy do that. Is that kind of taken away from Langer then if we have a part-time guy, or would we guarantee a part-time guy?
Our part-time person would have the weekend hours that are not covered by Langer.
Okay.
And then possibly we could utilize that part-time help to help with lawn mowing during the summertime or snow plowing in the wintertime. If Dave's on vacation for a few days, this person could maybe come in and provide some coverage there as well.
It'd be nice to see that part-time description when we get ready to do that before we hire the guy.
Well, we
see that.
We have the job description in place now, and I can email that out to you if you'd like.
Okay, I'd like to see that.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second.
No,
I have a question.
Yes.
So was this at the request of Langer because they didn't want to maintain those hours? Was that
right? The weekend hours is something
this?
they did not want to provide anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no motion yet.
What's that?
There was no motion yet.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion by Nate and a second by Greg. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Thank you, Troy. With that, we'll move on to public comment, and if anyone wishes to speak, please come to the microphone and put your name down, and we will give you 2 minutes to speak on anything not on the agenda.
Hi, how we doing? Mark Argis, 1018 11th Avenue Northeast in Owatonna. I'm the Youth First Director, co-founder and director, and I understand at a recent meeting from from Mr. Rainey and Mr. Trulson, Tim Trulson, had asked me to talk just a little bit about our advertising signage program, specifically the one that's on the fences around town, so on 18th Street and at the fences at Morehouse Park and Manthe Park and J.C. Park and Darts Park. And that's part of our Youth First sponsorship program. So we work with a number of the booster organizations like the Bullpen Club, which pretty much covers baseball from point of entry all the way through high school. And then also with the Owatonna Youth Fast Pitch Association, which is the girls program, travel ages 10 to 15. And we also have worked with the OSA, which is the Softball Association on the adult side, which spends most of their time at the fairgrounds. So what we've done is put together a program for signage for local businesses within our sponsorship program that involves the signage advertising that you see on the fences. And so I just wanted to clear up where that money goes and how that all works. That money is all directly funneled into either the Bullpen Club on the baseball side or OYFSA, this fast pitch softball, on the girls side. And it's a combination of packages that we've designed that really are designed to create real value for our business sponsors. Knowing that 18th Street over there has one of the highest traffic counts in town, that was a key component to package those with Darts Park and Morehouse Park, and those dollars go in to support the kids' programs. Most all of that money goes directly into either the Bullpen Club or OYFSA and directly impacts their ability to keep their fees down to the parents for the kids to participate, buys equipment, those kind of things in their operational side. And then those two organizations are also key partners with the city and giving back in the capital improvement equation. So, for example, when we did J.C. Park and we're able to work with the city, the Park and Rec, many in-kind vendors, as well as write some grants with Major League Baseball to put lights down there and refurbish the dugouts and those kind of things. So those dollars all go back into those programs, which also then give back to asset improvement for the city. So I just wanted to kind of clear that up. I think there was some confusion as to maybe those dollars going into maintenance on fields and those kind of things, and that's just not the case. So I don't know if you had any questions.
Is that a one-year banner thing? They stay up for 1 year, and if they don't do it again,
it's an annual rate. So we charge a rate. For example, it's about $750 is the cost of the first year for a package that would include either Darts or Morehouse and a sign on 18th Street. So it's 2 signs in that package, and that includes the cost of making the signs the first year, and then it drops a couple $100 on an annual renewal basis. And then we refresh those as needed and that kind of thing. And again, those dollars are directed right into those nonprofit organizations. So,
okay. Any other questions? Well, thank you very much, and appreciate that information because it clears up a few questions. Thank you.
You bet.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll move on to council comment, and we'll start with Kevin.
I have nothing tonight.
Thank you. Brett.
I have nothing this evening.
Raymond.
Just got one comment. On September 21st, 80 people showed up to help clean up Straight River in town. And I'd like to thank all the people. Dave Burbank and myself were there helping out. And they did a wonderful job of 80 people and to go out there and run through the mud and water. And it went from 9 till noon. So I just want to thank the people that came to the 80 people this year. So.
Okay, great. Thank you, Raymond. Nate.
Nothing to add.
Great.
Everything's peaceful and quiet in the second ward.
Good. Dave.
Quiet in Ward 3.
Mayor Tom.
The Owatonna Exchange Club does an excellent job each year of recognizing Firefighter of the Year. This year's Firefighter of the Year is going to be Matt Elverson. If you're interested, the banquet takes place at the Eagles Club. It starts at 6 p.m. on October 10th, dinner at 6:30. Tickets are $20 available at the Owatonna Fire Department or Institute Prince of Owatonna. So it's nice to have people come out and help support our fire department and the Firefighter of the Year.
Thank you, Tom. Chris.
I just have a couple announcements as well. And I think Thursday, October 10th is the big evening in Owatonna. There's 2 other activities that you can choose from. Our Human Rights Commission is presenting another community intersection series. It's put on, we're utilizing the services of the Rochester Diversity Council to lead our workshop. That begins at 6:30 for light refreshments, and then 7 o'clock begins the program. And then also on October 10th, we have the Owatonna Foundation. It's Foundation Week, and they are hosting a fall wine tasting event from 6:30 to 9 p.m. at the Holiday Inn in Owatonna, and tickets are $20 each. And I think that's about it. Fire department. Oh, I'm sorry. And yeah, I'd get in trouble with the fire department. Fire department is having their annual chili feed and wild rice soup supper on Sunday, October 6th. It begins, I want to say, at
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Tickets are available at the door or in advance from any firefighter, and we would just urge you all to attend.
4 to 7, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. And I was going to mention that if you hadn't, so it was going to be covered. But with that, I have nothing. So Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Kevin to
Second.
adjourn. Second by Raymond. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.